Hello, and welcome back to South Coast Busways, here for the first, I guess you could say first proper episode of 2026. Obviously, last week was episode 100 and the first episode in 2026, so it was, let's have a look around and see where we've come. But this week, it's time to add even more to the network, and we're going to be doing so here in Havant. We're at the Fitzwygram Way garage, between Havant and Waterlooville, and it's time to add 3 new services to the network around Havant: the local services 119 and 121, and a sort of short regional route to Roland's castle, which will connect it with Havant and Horndean. So, I'm going to go over here, and I'm going to get the 119 and 121's colour ready. But where are they going to run? Well, this estate here, which we didn't have before we last expanded towards the east, is called West Leigh. And I think it's just about right for 2 little bus routes. My cat has entered my room. I am being blessed with the presence of a cat. We all know that this is the best place to be. But, since all of these routes are quite short, there's going to be no time lapses today. I'm bringing you with for all of this. And this is going to be the 119 from Havant to West Leigh. There we go. And our Havant town services all start at Havant Station. What? It's my cat. She's yelling at me from underneath the table. There we go, I now have a cat on my lap. So, yeah, all the town services start at the station, and they pass through Market Parade, the bus station, and then they come around, and then we're going to go this way. We're going to go up here, then we're going to go across to Forest Side Avenue. No, we aren't. Well, we are, but we're going to go up this way first. Then we're going to go there, Oakshott Drive, Wakeford's Way, Bus Stop, Longstock Road, and the Fox, which we're going to rename to West Leigh, so that we know that that is the stop we want for our destination. Nursling Crescent, Forest Side Avenue, and then back onto the main road. Petersfield Road, get off the table. That was my cat. She wants to be on the table. The table is where she wants to be, and she cannot be there. Right. Havant Civic Centre, Havant Park, Havant Bus Station, Market Parade, put a waypoint in so it'll go around the back, and Havant Station. There we go. That is the 119. Takes 24 minutes to do a return, so we should manage to run a half-hourly service with just 1 bus, which means this will be a very, very simple timetable indeed. And the timetable is now in place for the 119. It'll run every half hour during the week and every 45 minutes on Sundays. Because the vehicle requirement during the week is just 1, it will be every half hour from first bus until last. So, next is to serve the other half of West Leigh, which will be the role of the 121. So let's get a new standard bus route from Havant up to West Leigh, going a different way around the estate to serve the other half of it, in the form of the 121. And there is the 121. I went quiet there because I was in a flow. I knew exactly where I needed that to go. That was very quick. That was very nice. It's almost like I've had to do this recording again. Anyway, timetable. It'll run every half hour during the week and every 45 on Sunday, just like the 119. And the timetable for the 121 is now in place between Havant and West Leigh, running every 30 minutes during the week and every half hour on Sundays. So let's get that activated from Fitzwygram. We'll activate that now. Why not? Makes life easier. Next is going to be the regional route, if you would call it that. It's not particularly long. The 123 from Havant up to whatchamacallit, Horndean via Roland's castle. We're going to do a fun routing around there, because why not? So I'm going to get our regular colour for Solent Blue, which if it would keep up with me while I scroll through the routes, that would be nice. There we go. Sometimes the game just needs a bit of a think. It's not always crashing. We got to be that. And standard bus route, this will be the 123 from Havant to Horndean via Roland's castle. It's not Horndead, it's Horndean. Well done, me. So we'll start there, and let's head out. Starting by going a very similar way, but then immediately, or almost immediately, going a different way to the 119 and 121 by heading up through Front Lawn and High Lawn. Then Staunton Park, Fitzwygram Way, and into Roland's Castle, where we'll be doing some fun stuff by going around all of this, and I will put a stop like up here. There we go. Also serves as a waypoint. Then around, we'll stop in much the same place there, but then we'll go this way, because of course we need to get to Horndean, which is up this way. So let's stop there, and then we'll stop at Keydale Nursery, and then at Horndean Precinct, and make our way back towards Havant. Including another funny lap of Roland's Castle. So let's do that. Ellsworth Lane, Roland's Castle Green, bus stop Staunton Arms. I said Staunton Arms. That bus stop, Fitzwygram Way, Staunton Park, High Lawn Way, Front Lawn Junior, Front Lawn Primary, BC Flooring, where whatever that's meant to coincide with, I assume, a flooring shop, Park Parade, Stone Square, Blendworth Crescent, the Curlew. Stone Square doesn't have the same ring to it as Sloane Square. Well, same ring, not the same gravitas, that's for sure. But that is the full 123. And this is going to run up to every 45 minutes. With 45-minute service on Sunday, but only between Havant and Roland's Castle. So, I'll see you when there's a timetable to look at with the 123. And the 123 now has a timetable running every 45 minutes to Horndean during the week, and every 45 minutes only as far as Roland's castle on Sundays. So, that's going to be activated from Fitzwygram Way, and we'll do that now. And it should be no surprise as to what we're going to be running on these routes, because, well, it's Enviro200 MMCs, of the 9.7 meter variant, no less. Fitzwygram absolutely adore them. And, well, so do I. They are such a wonderful little bus. And I want more of them, so I'm getting more of them. This series is not a democracy. I mean, I'm fully open to feedback, but, you know, ultimately this is my creative vision. But again, I'm open to feedback. You can say stuff, and I might listen to it. But anywho, it is now time to head back to Fitzwygram Way, and buy 8 new Enviro200 MMCs, and I'll see you in the paint shop. And naturally, it is wearing the new Morse 2 scheme, and it's looking absolutely resplendent in it. The Morse 2 scheme suits these MMCs down to the ground. The one problem I have is that the back end is very cramped because it's got this vent peeking down. But I think this works. It's not bad. It's a nice sort of adaptation to make it fit, and delivery just sits really nicely on the MMC. To be fair, it is kind of hard to mess up a livery for an MMC. They are so easy to work with. Did I only buy the one? No. But there's a weird gap. Well, let's see if there are any other weird gaps then. There shouldn't be, but there might be. There aren't. These weird gaps would have been from when we were playing musical chairs with the streetlights. Which, yeah, were a thing. There we go. That's fixed. So now it's time to get all of these plated up. They don't support destination blinds, so yes. Fleet number, what do we have up here? EM174. Well, this is going to be EM207, and the license plate will be YY69 WWA. Why not? And I'll get the rest of these done in a happy little jump cut. And finally, we have EM214, not WWG, WWH, YY69 WWH, better known as EM214. All of these now ready to head on to their first services with Solent Blue. So let's get bus drivers, and let's get buses going where buses need to be going. We have plenty of buses. I deliberately bought way more than we need. But aren't these things absolutely gorgeous? I think I'm going to take my thumbnail screenshot in here, because it's been a little bit since we've done that, I think. There we go. That should be nice. Alderspark, decline. So yes, now we have a few routes to wait on, to, you know, look at, see how they bed in. So I will see you when we have something to look at on the 119, 121 or 123. And it is now time to join one of our new Enviro200 MMCs on the 119. I've just confused the game by clicking everywhere, so there we go. We're just making our way up to Havant bus station, so we've missed basically nothing at all. But going off just in front of us there is a 123 up to Horndean. We do happen to go at basically the exact same time, which is not great, but that goes that way and we go this way, so it all works out in the end. The 119 starts by going this way and then goes through the centre of the estate, serving the centre of the estate towards... serving the centre of the estate towards Havant. Please do excuse that yawn. And coming back down into Havant, we're doing some rather good numbers, with a 121 heading the other way. I've confused the game again. There's 121 heading the other way. This is going to be a very short video. Although the game will endeavour to make that as long as possible by just not performing as well as a game this simple really should be. But yes, when the game starts responding again, we're going to jump on that 121. There we go. Jumping on that 121, which is really full, to go up to West Leigh, which this serves the centre of the estate on the northbound run, and then goes around the this side of the estate, the eastern side of the estate. So, let's see how this does on the way back into Havant, and then hopefully we'll catch a 123 on its way out again. I don't know when it's leaving. That's a 119. And that's a 105. But I think I see a 117 tucked, a 123 tucked in there somewhere. There it is. So we're going to take this up to Horndean and back down into Havant. There we go. It's go time. So yes, the 123, it is one hell of a route. It does a whole massive thing in Roland's castle to basically serve the entire village in both directions. Which, given that Roland's castle is quite a small place, probably quite realistic. It doesn't add much to the journey time at all to do that. Just a few minutes. And means that we don't need to complicate the services through Roland's castle in the slightest. But I have stalled for just long enough. We are now coming into Roland's castle so that you can see what we do. So we start by going this way. And then we go around the top. This is around the top. And down to serve Roland's Castle Station. We have quite a few on board for what I imagined to be quite a lowly regional service, or lowly rural service. But that's what the EM type is really good at. It's not as small, it's not as restrictive as an ES. It just has that little bit of extra capacity that makes it a little bit more versatile for when demand is. for wind demand is perhaps a little higher than expected. But now we're heading back towards Havant, where we get to do the whole thing in Roland's Castle in reverse. So, up into Roland's Castle, we turn at the green and we go around the top. Going around the top. Exactly the same way as buses towards Horndean, but we're going towards Havant. Again, it keeps things simple, means we don't need many bus stops. Then, serving Roland's Castle Station. And down through, down past Staunton Arms, with a good number of passengers on board, and heading into the top of Fareham, past the 123 going in the other direction, and then through High Lawns, New Lawn, or High Lawn and Front Lawn, to get into Havant Town Centre, a slightly less direct way than perhaps you might expect for a service that is not a Havant town runner. I just thought I'd try out using the less direct routings for rural services that run into town rather than for town runs that are obviously dedicated to serving the town, just to see how it goes. And this is very full. Well, it was very full before it dropped everyone off, but my point still stands. It was very full. And that was a fairly short little video. I think. It didn't feel very long. So I'm going to go back to the garage once the game has started responding again, and we will, and I will bid you farewell from a nice view of our brand new buses. So, let's go back to Fitzwygram Way. And here are 4 of our brand new toys. So, from 4 of our brand new toys, I will see you on Thursday from the interim series, which is going to be your first look at Capital Country Busways, which I've been teasing for ages now. Only semi-deliberately, I promise. And of course, next week, from the South Coast. Bye-bye.